Next up, at UFC Vegas 96, we got Zack Reese taking on Jose Medina. Zack Reese, minus 425 favorite. Zack Reese. 7-1 in his career, 4-1 in his last 5. He is coming off his first official UFC win. He's taking on Jose Daniel Medina. 11-3 in his career, 4-1 in his last 5. He is coming off a loss on last year's Contender Series. Jose Medina is a ground and pound fighter, and I call a lot of people the same things, right? A come forward striker, a busy striker, a relentless grappler. You don't hear me say ground and pound fighter very often, but that is how he fights. He'll entertain the striking. He's got decent striking, but he wants to get the fight to the ground. He's not even a nasty wrestler or anything, but he wants to get a fight to the ground, and if it does get on the ground, he's nasty on top. Vicious elbows, looking for a finish. He is not just settling in, taking his time, racking up control. He is looking to finish you while on top. When he's on his feet, his striking is clean. He's got clean boxing. Doesn't do anything too crazy. Keeps it nice and tight. He isn't particularly powerful. He's not very fast, but his hands are in the right places at the right times. His takedowns are just okay, but as I mentioned, when he gets on top, he is absolutely looking for a finish. He's coming off that decision loss on the Contender Series where he just could not defend the takedowns. He's taking on Zack Reese. For middleweight, Zack Reese is a pretty big dude at 6'4". He uses all of that size. He uses that length, that strength in his fights. He's a well-rounded guy, mostly a powerful striker. He will uncork. He seems stiff, and then the fights end up on the ground where he starts working that jiu-jitsu. Plenty of jiu-jitsu. He's very comfortable off his back, which actually can be a problem for him, but he's super long, and he uses all of that length to try to wrap up submissions. He's coming off that knockout win over Julian Marquez where he only needed 20 seconds. Listen, Zack Reese famously burnt the safety parlay to the ground when Cody Brundage bounced his head off of the canvas. It was at that point I said, I am never putting any serious bets on a UFC debut ever again. So I learned a valuable lesson there. The other lesson I learned is there's no way I'm going to let Zack Reese lose me money 2 times in 1 year. I can't do it. I can't do it. Zack Reese should win this fight. He's got powerful striking. He's got very good jiu-jitsu. The problem is, if he's going to play the jiu-jitsu nerd game that got his head bounced off the mat against Cody Brundage, if he's going to do that with Jose Medina, Jose's just going to be elbowing his face, slicing him open, lighting him up, trying to make something happen. I do think Zack Reese wins. I think he's just a little too powerful on the feet. I think he can create scrambles. I think he can grapple. Minus 425 is too far gone for a guy that I've seen be way too comfortable off his back. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, this is, almost a little bit of a deja vu situation here because Zack Reese is a guy that, I tried to warn the people, when my guy Cody Brundage came in, I said, all you have to do is have a nice tight right hand that you throw down a pipe, you're going to knock this guy out. Right? Cody threw the nice one, boom, knocked him down, got in the triangle, boom, slams him down, knocks this dude out. Because at his core, Zack Reese is one of those jiu-jitsu guys. Angelo nailed it. He wants to be on his back with those long legs and play that jiu-jitsu game. He will strike, right? And he's a decent offensive striker, but he does not move his fucking head. And anybody with a nice tight right hand they can throw down the fucking pipe is going to knock him down or knock him out. There is no question in my mind. I don't think he is that good at all. The issue is Jose Medina really isn't that type of guy, right? He is not one of those big, powerful, step in with a nice right hand. He's just going to go about his business. Like Angelo said, he kind of wants to just lay on top of you. This is a new weight class for him, and he does look great at this middleweight whatever, dropped a lot of weight. He is one of the rare people that lost their Contender Series fight, but he was so fucking tough in that fight. He really kind of got beat on a little bit, but he was so tough. Dana was like, I don't give a fuck. I love this guy. I love what he's about. I love his family was in town and all this stuff, and I think it was a super short notice, whatever. He took it. He showed up. He was tough as shit. Here's a fucking contract anyway. It would not be surprising at all if Jose, getting that opportunity and dropping this weight, comes in and looks fucking unbelievable because he seems like a guy that's going to seize those opportunities. But I haven't really seen that part of his game, so I have to pick Zack Reese as a pick because he should be able to do what he needs to do against a guy like Jose. But I'm not putting money on Zack Reese. This is one of those things where if Zack Reese fucking loses, I don't want anybody tagging me being like, he was the last leg of my parlay. I can't believe you picked him. I'm not fucking betting on this guy. Picks and bets are different. I'm going with Zack Reese. I'm going to be rooting my fucking ass off for Jose. He's a good dude.
Dude, I had to do a whole picks and bets are different speech in 2 different videos because we made a ton of money. Jacob and I crushed UFC 305. And I picked Gamrot, and I ended up picking Steve Erceg, but I didn't bet on those idiots. I actually bet on Dan Hooker, and the people were pissed, like mad that I somehow had good bets. Picks and bets are not the same thing, especially you have to factor in odds. I think Zack Reese wins. But if I had to cap this fight myself, I would have Zack Reese at like minus 120. So for him to be minus 425 would be absurd for me to place a bet. Now, if I said I think he wins, he's minus 120, and the dude's plus 180, oh, well, that makes I should bet on that. But picks and bets are different, and there's a lot of factors going into that. So we're both on the Zack Reese side, but we both fully recognize how wild, dangerous, fun, determined Jose Daniel Medina can be, and the fact that he could absolutely win this fight. $9,200 in DraftKings Fantasy, I think that's terrible value because Jose is tough. I don't see Jose getting finished, and you're really going to need to finish him or take him down a million times for that money to be worth it. So while I do think Zack Reese wins, I certainly am not going to put him in my DraftKings Fantasy lineup. But if you do want to see who does go in the lineup, if you want to see all the picks, the bets, the safety parlay, which hits at a 72% event win rate, you can do so now. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. At the top, it is only $10 for an entire month. That month gets you all the way out to UFC 306.
Another one here, it's about the exact same as the money line, and he showed how tough he was in his last fight, is plus inside 3. The distance decisional action again. His money line is plus 375, and if he is just tough and loses, you lose your bet. At plus 400, you're getting even better odds. If he is just tough and loses a decision, you're going to get your fucking money back. But if he fucking smokes Zack Reese for whatever reason, you're getting paid either way. So
that is a good inside the distance decision, no action bet. Because, I mean, Zack Reese is dangerous. He hits like a freight train. He's got good jiu-jitsu. But Jose's just tough.
It's probably more of the jiu-jitsu I'm worried about a little bit more. But
well, and Jose will probably take him down and look to elbow his face in and all that. I'll have to check that out. We do have a couple of super chats. Oh, I already read that one. Tony Begley was explaining, I said Dricus sucks donkey DIXX. So he sent a super chat early apologizing for the horrible things he said to Jacob, and I asked him to clarify. I was hoping it was more around like ginger, fake teeth, no eyebrows. You look like Gary Busey's kid if he fell down. But it was just about Dricus. So.
A lot of projecting, huh?
What is funny is the narrative now is, and it's not an incorrect narrative, Dricus continues to win, and he's just not skilled. And it's just pictures of his horrible technique while just throwing bombs and running across the cage.
Yeah, he must.
But the reality is he keeps winning. Yeah, and he keeps winning. Well, I was yelling. Jacob and I watched the fight together. I was yelling at the TV. Dude, those takedowns were awful. He just dragged them.
The second round started
the whole time.
The second round started, and you're like, DDP's exhausted. I'm like, no, he's not.
He was.
No, he's not. No, he's not. That's how he fight. Every single fight, it just looks like he's tired, but he's not tired. And then he just blitzes in. He fucking just knocks people out. Like he just is like it's just awkward. He's like, you're like, it was a second round. It's like, and then the third round goes, and the fourth round. Then you're every single minute, you're like, oh, he's. I'm like, no, he's not. It's just what he does, dude. He just
but he didn't look that tired against Strickland. He looked far more mouth open, not throwing when he should.
It's just a different fight. Izzy's a tougher puzzle to solve. He can just walk through Strickland's jab, but Izzy's a little bit different. So he's just biding his time, found his opportunities. There's never a moment where he's like backing up, like.
Could be.
That's just how he fights. Just what it is.
Sorry, Tiffany's calling me. Did my headphones connect? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Fucking Tiffany. Hello.
Is she fucking clueless?
Fucking Tiffany.
I mean, is she fucking clueless? He can't hear me right now, so it's like, I mean, that woman has no fucking idea about respect.
What a joke.
About honoring her husband, right? Because that's what women are supposed to do. I mean, she is just absolutely clueless.
Sorry, please hold.
He still can't hear me, so I'm just gonna keep. It's embarrassing to have. You got to keep your women in line. You know what I mean?
Hold on.
This guy is crazy.
Okay. Here we go. Dude, it's what's annoying is I have my phone in Do Not Disturb, and yet when Tiffany called me, it still took my headphones and sent it to my phone and screwed everything up. Stupid.
Great story.
Oh, you know why? Because I have her as an exception for Do Not Disturb.